to the Minister of the Economy for Kosovo, Artane Rizvanolli. Your thoughts, please.
Thank you very much. Great pleasure to be here today. Also, opportunity to reflect a bit on the past 2 years. 2 years ago, in this very forum, we were sitting here and talking about how to navigate economic vulnerabilities at a time of geopolitical instability. 2 years later, I wish that I could say that the situation is better in some sense. But on the other hand, I think that there are accomplishments both in Kosovo and in Europe that we can be proud of how we managed these last 2 years. So on the one hand, while the world is more fragmented geopolitically and economically, we have overall navigated successfully the last 2 years, I would say. At that time, the main issue was dealing with the following winter, reducing demand and reducing dependency on Russian gas and oil for Europe particularly. This has been successfully done, I would say, due to unusually swift policies by the EU, which we are all thankful for, but also other factors. On the other hand, 2 years later, there are also concerns, particularly with regard to competitiveness of green technologies. We are now at a time when production of solar panels is pretty much finished in Europe. Now batteries and EVs from China are flooding the market, most likely pure dumping. And we're at a time when also wind turbines from China are seriously threatening competitiveness of European but also US manufacturers. Now, while in the US we have a clear industrial policy emerging for a while now to deal with this, in Europe, unfortunately, we don't see the same kind of agility, and we hope that for the sake of all of us, this will change soon. For Kosovo, I would say that over the last 2 years, we've had a lot of development and a lot of achievements that we can be proud of. If I go back to the previous conference here, one of the key issues was reducing demand, particularly by households. I'm happy to say that that year already by awareness campaigns, but also by subsidizing efficient appliances, we managed to stabilize demand from households, which used to be growing at a rate of up to 2 digits annually before that. 2 years ago, I was sitting here sharing general policy directions that were very ambitious. Since then, with regard to renewables and energy efficiency, particularly as the 2 areas of investment which we saw from the beginning as no-regret investments. 2 years later, I'm happy to say that these policy directions are now clearly set in the strategy, which was approved by Parliament last year, but also we have made important steps in implementing the strategy and making this a strategy which is an ambitious one. I truly believe also one that is implementable and that one that we are in right direction to achieving. This 2 weeks ago, we concluded a more than successful first solar auction for a 100 megawatt solar plant. We are preparing now the first wind auction, but also in the meantime, we have prepared a pipeline of future wind auctions that will take place in publicly owned land. So with this, we are securing a pipeline of projects which in wind, which tends to be more complex and riskier, and therefore more government involvement is needed. But also, of course, it takes a lot more time in planning and constructing, and therefore now is the right time to put all our efforts on developing and preparing new wind capacities. At the same time, we have progressed well in 3 very important projects. One 100 megawatt plant at KEK, our publicly owned company, which currently produces 100% from coal, and a 50 megawatt thermal district heating plant in Pristina, which will add to the capacity but also increase the efficiency of current district heating system. And the 170 megawatt battery storage project for secondary and tertiary reserves. The tenders for all 3 EPC contracts will be coming out later this year or early next year, and this means that we are well on track with regard to renewable energy. With regard to energy efficiency, we've had record investment in efficiency appliances, insulation of homes in public buildings, all of these in record levels, and this will continue to do so year after year over the next years.
Thank you. And spot on time as well. Excellent.